Welcome to another edition of Bronco Sports Weekly. I'm Sean Fagan. A little later on the program, we'll be joined by head men's tennis coach Dave Marine to talk about Senior Day this week. But before we get to that, let's look at what happened last weekend. The track and field team took second place at the 27th Annual Miami Invitational with a number of event victories and a meet record falling. Andrea Heiler broke the meet record in the discus with a PR toss of 166 feet and 3 inches, breaking her previous best by 4 full feet. Iris Campbell won the 400-meter hurdles, and the team of Leah Munwam, Rebecca Hall, Ariel Arnold, and Andrea Arnold took home the crown in the 4x400-meter relay. The Broncos are in action this week at the Sea Ray Relays hosted by Tennessee. The softball team split a pair of weekend series, ending the week on a high note with a 2-game sweep of the Eastern Michigan Eagles in Ypsilanti. Senior pitcher Meredith Whitney broke the Western Michigan career strikeouts record with 7 Ks against the Eagles on Saturday, giving her 595 for her career and helping Western Michigan to a 7-3 win. Becca Schemberger would allow just 3 hits in 6 innings on Sunday, and Whitney would come in to fan 2 more in the 7th to seal a 2-0 win for the Broncos. Women's tennis split a pair of matches this weekend, defeating the Ball State Cardinals 6-1 on Friday before falling to preseason MAC favorite Miami 5-2 on Saturday. Kathleen Hawkins went 4-0 overall for the Broncos, and Jill Pastunik won both of her matches in singles play. The Broncos will return to action against Bowling Green this week. And baseball has had a tough go of it lately, dropping a weekend series to Eastern Michigan, but Ryan McMillan has been the story over the past several weeks. McMillan extended his hitting streak to 23 games in 3 games against the Eagles and needs hits in the next 2 games to tie the all-time Western Michigan record for consecutive games with a hit. The Broncos will face the Toledo Rockets on the road this weekend. And now let's take a look at some of the highlights from this past weekend. Broncos hosting Eastern Michigan for a weekend baseball series. Ryan McMillan would extend his hit streak in the bottom of the first inning, lifts this one over the center fielder's head, brings in Ben Kajawa. In the bottom of the first, the Broncos would open the game with 3 runs in the first inning. Into the 3rd inning now, it would be Kajawa's turn. Kajawa going to drive this one to left center. Center fielder having some issues chasing this one down. Lets the ball go off his glove. The Broncos would score another run. They would lead 5-0 after 3 innings of play. Eagles would come back and take the 7-5 lead in the top of the 6th, but the Broncos would take it right back. Ben Kajawa with the hit to right center field. That would plate Vinnie Booker, and it would cut Eastern Michigan's lead to 7-6. Later that inning, Ryan McMillan going to get a hold of another one. Doesn't quite make it out, but he's going to drive this one to right center. Zach Thoma would score. Ben Kajawa would score. McMillan would reach 3rd on a throwing error. The Broncos trailed 7-5 entering the bottom of the 6th. They left with a 12-7 lead. However, Eastern Michigan would score a ton of runs in the late innings, and they would just squeak out a 15-14 win after 9 innings. Onward to Saturday now, the Broncos trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd until Caleb Caton drives this ball into right center field. That one would score Patrick Duncan and even the game at 1 run apiece. Later that inning, Dan Schutz just trying to move a runner over with a bunt. He's going to lay this one down, and he's going to leg this one out. Caton going to score at home. Runners safe at 2nd, and Schutz safe at 1st. Broncos take the 2-1 lead. Broncos would cap it all off when Zach Thoma drives this one over the pitcher's mound, back across the middle. That one would score Jordan Tillman. The Broncos took the 3-1 lead at the end of the 2nd inning. Broncos trailing 11-6 in the bottom of the 6th, but Duncan would hit a hot shot down the right field line. That one would score Ben Kajawa at the start of a 3-run inning for the Broncos. However, they would ultimately fall 13-9 to the Eagles. Broncos trying to avoid the sweep on Sunday, trailing 4-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. And Dan Schutz going to strike out, but he's going to hustle down the line. Ryan McMillan going to score on the wild pitch. Schutz safe at 1st. Broncos cutting into the Eastern Michigan lead later that inning. Andrew Sohn going to single to right field. In comes Duncan. In comes Schutz. The Broncos going to cut the lead to just 4-3. Sohn would advance to 2nd on an errant throw. Thoma would keep the comeback going, singling to the right side to score Andrew Sohn, but the Broncos unable to avoid the loss. They lose 9-5 to Eastern Michigan on Sunday. Welcome back to Bronco Sports Weekly. I'm Sean Fagan, and I am now joined by head men's tennis coach here at Western Michigan, Dave Marine. Coach, you have a big match coming up this Saturday against Ball State, a very tight pack in the MAC, and you have to try to get your way back towards the top.
You know, Ball State, Sean, has been our chief rival over the years, and just thinking back, the last 10 years, I think, we've won it 18 out of the last 20 titles, and so, if you can't get up for this match, I think you probably can't get up for any match.
Now, this will also have special significance in that it will be the Senior Day match, the final home match for your players Pablo Olivares and Zayad Montasser. What kind of emotions are running through your head knowing this will be their last home match, and what kind of emotions are going through their heads, do you think?
Well, that's the key thing. I think that we try to, minimize that as much as possible and make it as much of a regular match for those guys. Obviously, they've done some great things for the Broncos, and we want to acknowledge that. And they've been great guys to work with. They both have 4 championships each, and I know they want to finish the season on a strong note.
Does the fact that you're going against Ball State maybe mitigate some of those emotions because these guys are going to be focused for that anyway?
I think so. And the fact that we've lost 4 in a row now and lost a couple in the conference, we're kind of in territory that we haven't been in the past. So I think we just need to really, focus on one match at a time and finish the season on a strong note.
We've got Ball State this week. Then after that, you have Toledo, who had a very strong season last year, and then you're looking at the MAC championships coming up in a few weeks. What kind of things is your team working on in preparation for that?
Well, the doubles has been letting us down, so we've been spending a lot of time on that and, and looking for different combinations. And, when I talk to the guys, too, I think we just need to finish the season on a strong note individually. Each guy needs to be thinking about, getting some momentum going in their, their individual position. And then we need to do that as a team as well and know that the big prize is still ahead of us, the conference title and the automatic bid in the NCAAs.
You've already had 3 guys reach 20 singles wins this year. Zayad Montasser has the chance to do that this week against Ball State. You only had 3 guys reach 20 wins all of last year combined. So what does that say about the depth of your team?
Well, I think we've got great players, and I think Zayad has been playing some of his best tennis in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we need to have everybody clicking, everybody playing their A game in the last couple weeks of the season, and then hopefully we extend our season.
Last year, Jack Vriedevelt, your predecessor, once told me it's always a big event when Western Michigan goes against Ball State in tennis. So good luck to you this week, Coach.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
All right, and let's look ahead now to this weekend. Softball will be back in Kalamazoo for a 4-game weekend, hosting the Kent State Golden Flashes on Friday in a doubleheader before hosting the Buffalo Bulls on Saturday and Sunday. Broncos are currently tied for the top spot in the MAC West with Ball State, so this could be the chance to get a little separation in the standings. Men's tennis will play its final home match of the season when they host the Ball State Cardinals on a Saturday afternoon. It will be the final home match in the careers of Zayad Montasser and Pablo Olivares, and who better to get a win against than your rival? As Jack Vriedevelt once said, it's always big when Western Michigan and Ball State get together for some tennis. The baseball team will try to get back to its winning ways with a 3-game series at Toledo this weekend. Ryan McMillan will be trying to set a new school record for consecutive games with a hit. He needs hits in each of the first 2 games of the series to tie the old mark of 25. Track will be whistling Rocky Top this weekend when they compete at the Sea Ray Relays hosted by Tennessee. Broncos hope to make some of their best times of the year when they go against competition from the ACC, SEC, and Big Ten. The meet starts Thursday afternoon. And elsewhere, women's tennis will look to even their MAC record when they go on the road to take on a difficult Bowling Green team, and the women's golf team will take part in the Indiana Invitational. And that's going to do it for us this week on Bronco Sports Weekly. Make sure you join us again next week for our final show of the year. Same Bronco time, same Bronco place.